Hey folks, this is John with Ozarks Backroads with you today. Today's a glorious day. We're out on the FJR1300 and we're riding around. Strapped to the back of the bike here, we've got the center stand that came in for the Tiger 800. Finally, it took 7 weeks after I ordered that to get it. But it showed up today, so I stopped in and got that. We're going to go for a little ride and see what we can find. Run over here and get some fuel. Make the trip a little better. I'm pretty stoked about the center stand. I've had a couple of close calls with the scissor jack there in the garage with that Triumph. I almost dropped it off of that the other day. So I was ready for that center stand to show up. Get our center stand put on, then we got the side cases yet to go. They haven't showed up. They've been 8 weeks on order. I went into the dealer yesterday and to check on them, and the parts guy looked on the system and he couldn't even find the order on the system. Hadn't been ordered. So I wound up composing an email and sending it to Triumph on their help website there, the after sales help. I asked them if they could help me with getting those side cases delivered. I told them it'd been 8 weeks and they haven't even been ordered yet from what we can tell, so maybe they'll get on the stick and get them to me. All right, we're fueled up. Got our 2.7 gallons. We can ride all day on that. We're in Ozark, Missouri, which is just on the south side of Springfield, Missouri, about 10 miles or so maybe. I think we'll take the long way home. Ride through the woods and go over the creek. Go to Grandma's house. I hope everybody's doing well. We're having a good time here in the Ozarks. Running around, kind of waiting on, or I'm just kind of waiting on the leaves to start turning, get a little fall color. I really like to get out and ride when the fall color sets in. It's usually pretty nice. Some of the city trees, the trees people plant in town, some of them got some color on them, but the country trees, they're still just pretty green. Not a lot going on there. The out in the woods type trees. So I guess you gotta run around in the city if you want to see color right now. I'll wait for the country trees. Actually, we can run up here and take a look at the square in the courthouse. But anyhow, this is the downtown, the square. Little businesses still going here. Kind of cute. They take care of it. It's not all run down and disheveled looking. We'll take the really long way home. We got a whole tank of fuel. Some of the understory trees, the dogwoods, some of the fruit trees, the pear trees and what have you, got a little color on them. These wild plums here are just purple. That's pretty cool. Whoop, turtle in the road. Don't want to hit the turtle. He's probably older than I am. Getting slow. That's why turtles are so slow. They're 100 years old. Yeah, this road right here is really pretty when the color's on. I will definitely be here for that. I found a couple of other roads I need to go see about this year too. Some pretty nice views to be had. This road here is pretty special. Let's see, the last time I came through here they were putting these patches on the road, blacktopping. Really made a mess out of the bike. I remember that. I had to force it. Scrape all the tar off the swing arm underneath there. And the wheel wells. Here we are. We're at the highway. Oh man, he's hit something. Tore his truck all up. Oh shoot. Yeah, that truck's totaled. without a doubt. All right, well, we're going to head back to the house and we'll see about getting that center stand put on the, have I still got it? Yeah. We'll see about getting this mounted up on the Tiger. Get rid of that scissor stand I've been using. We got the mighty Tiger up in the air, and we finally got our center stand has shown up, and we're going to go ahead and install that today. I thought I'd just do a quick little video of the installation on the center stand in case anybody's interested. Looks like there's more to it than I thought there might be, but shouldn't be too bad. So over here we've got all the parts that came with it. Just the center stand itself and some mounting hardware, some bushings and bolts, a couple of brackets and the spring. So stick around, we'll see about getting this center stand installed on the 2019 Tiger Triumph 800. We got our instructions here. The center stand didn't come with installation instructions. You got to get them online at triumphinstructions.com. You just put in the part number of whatever you're installing and it'll pull up the instructions for you and you can download them. So the first thing we got to do here is remove the side stand off the bike. So that's why we got the bike up on the table here and the front end chalked up, the front wheels chalked up, so I can remove the side stand. If you had a paddock stand on the back wheel, you could do the same thing. We got a couple of bolts here and here. Nuts on the back, we'll take those out. Like they got a 17 on the back and a 14 on the front here. Need to be careful here because we do have a wire right here on this switch. This is the upstop bracket that the side stand, it's got the bumper on it for it to stop against, and it goes on the side stand like so, and they gave us a bolt here. Goes through from the back side and through this lower hole. This was an unused hole previously. We put this bracket, this assembly back on. If we can get it all lined back up here. They gave us one bolt that's a little longer than the bolt that was in it, so we're going to use the new bolt here. The lower bolt's the same bolt as before. Okay, on this upper bolt here, the longer bolt that they've given us, they gave us a washer, a new washer that goes with it. So it goes on the back side behind this bracket on the bolt, and then the nut goes on. And they said just loosely tighten it for now. So we'll do that. And then the lower bolt here, leave the nut off for now. So, okay. Okay, over here on the right side, there's a cover that mounts right here. It's a heel cover for your right, inside of your right heel. I've taken that off, and then right inside here, it's hard to see, but on the back side of this in here is where we got to put a screw and a bracket that our spring hooks onto, and this is it here. It's called an S bracket. They gave us a bolt with a little Loctite and a sleeve. The sleeve goes on the inside of the S bracket, and then the bolt goes through from the back side like that. And then there's a spacer that goes on it. There's my bolt. The hole is right there. I'm just going to start that by hand, my fingers here. All right. And then to tighten it, it's a Torx head, and I have to go in from the inside. I don't know if you can see it there or not. And tighten it like that. I believe we got her. All right, so that's our S bracket install on the right-hand side. All right, we'll tighten that up and make sure the spring's on the brake arm down here, so the brake light will come on when it should. And we'll tighten those back up. We're ready to mount up our center stand now. They gave us a sleeve that goes in the center stand. Goes in from the inside. This is what it pivots on. It's got a pin in it. And the pin, here's the hole on this side that it goes on the frame here. There's a hole above that pin goes in. We've got to grease this thing real good. Hold our stand up here. And then we got to align that pin in that hole in the frame to lock it in place. There it is. And then I'm going to start my bolt here. This is one they've supplied. This hole was not occupied previously. There's nothing in it. It's just for the side stand. All right, we'll go around to the other side and we basically got the same thing. On this side, the lower bolt here on the side stand is what screws into the sleeve there that goes through this center stand. That's what holds it. So here it is here. So this will go through the center stand, and then there'll be a hole in the frame that this pin locks in, and that'll hold it. And then this bolt here just screws in tight. So I'm going to grease this up. So this will go through the center stand. There it is. Fell into place. I'm going to go ahead and put a little blue Loctite on the threads here. I'll be able to get that out when I'm ready to re-lube the sleeve. It'll break loose all right. And then back here is the bump stop that we installed on the side stand. This bracket here with the rubber stopper. So we put it on there. That's what that's for. So once the spring's on, it'll pull it up against that. So we'll tighten these up, all of this up, on both sides. And then we got to put that big spring on. That's kind of a deal. It takes a little technique, but that'll be the last thing we have to do. We're ready to put our spring on our center stand, the spring that holds it up. And it goes on this S-hook that we put on earlier. And it's very particular about the way the spring goes on. It should loop through from this side here, and then this should be pointing down, and it is. And it goes on the pin right here on the inside of the arm. I made myself a spring hook out of a pretty heavy piece of wire, quite a bit heavier than a coat hanger, a gauge or two heavier. Just bent a loop in the end of it here, and then kind of made a place for my fingers to go, and then wrapped it around and then cut it off so I can hook that through the spring and should be able to pull it into place here. I'll give it a try. I've looked at a few videos, people installing center stands on different bikes, and this is always the part that gets them the worst. I can see why. All right, there it is. All right, I'm on the pin. So that'll hold our stand up, and then that S-hook swivels with it. We've tightened all of our bolts. We got our spring on. We'll put this on the ground and give it a test drive here to see if how it operates. We got it on the ground. Let's see if it works. See what kind of a side stand we got going on here. Ooh, it's really tall. That much I've noticed, and you can tell it's really in the center of gravity of the bike. I can just pivot the bike back and forth on the stand here, but it'll do its function. Cleaning the chain's not going to be a problem. Getting it down on this concrete floor, it wants to slide. The whole stand wants to slide, so I kind of have to put my foot under the front of the stand and pull the bike forward like that. So it's a little tall, but it's all right. All right, folks, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me and installing center stand on the Tiger 800 here and taking a ride on the FJR out in the woods. Had a pretty good time picking up the stand, going for a ride. Wasn't too bad putting it on either. Invite y'all to come back. We'll go somewhere or do something else. Till I see y'all again, y'all take care of yourself and we'll catch you next time.